Okay, so Charlie has put his heavy cavalry reserve on, and they've immediately gone and executed a charge against my dragoons. There are no other charges this turn. You're not going to charge with the other heavy cavalry or any of the other cavalry units?
No, the heavy cavalry can't charge anything. I'm going to charge the back of my own units.
Alright, we'll go and do charge resolution. Okay, so the French have no supports. Charlie has a re-roll, possibly. He has his second regiment in support. French get 3. I think that's going to be.
I think I need a re-roll.
I think you're going to win that one. So
I'm barely going to win this one.
I could attach my general, but I probably won't.
I'm going to attach my general just to make it even worse for you. I don't even have a general here. So
he's over that.
I'll just make it even more of a defeat for you.
So that takes you to 12. Your heavy cavalry, that makes you 13.
I'm 2 Moroccans above you.
I'm battle cavalry, so that makes me 2.
No, you're campaign cavalry, I'm battle cavalry.
Alright, that's right, yeah, I meant it that way around.
+1 for me.
What for?
Battle cavalry.
You don't add it onto yours, you add it onto mine.
You
take
might,
it off mine.
Yeah.
So I'm on 2.
Yeah, and I'm 2.
I've got a narrower frontage, you take 1 off me.
I'm a high Morocco than you by 2, because you're sweet cavalry and
I'm line and you're veteran, so you're only a better morale grade by 1. So you add 1 on, yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, so you win by 12.
No, by 13, by 13.
A victory, I rout and take 1d6 casualties. Okay.
Do I charge on?
You must do cavalry versus cavalry. Attack a victory, British cavalry must charge on.
Okay.
So roll 3d6 and we'll see how far you go. 7, that's not going to be far enough to reach me. I'll go and do my round move. Okay, the French cavalry look in trouble in this flank, so Charlie's wiped out my dragoons, forced them to rout. I've got a falter test. He's charged on. He didn't go far enough to catch and crash into my next dragoon brigade, but has now pulled up in front of them. The French are now charging, and they are going to try and recapture this village before the odds get too much stacked against them. We'll give that a go in this turn. Okay, so we've done movement in turn 7. What's happened is Joseph's guard have deployed from the centre of the formation. They're now moving to counter-attack towards the village to help recapture the village. In addition, my troops are charging into the village. They've automatically gone in, so that'll happen in the hand-to-hand combat phase.
I need to shoot them, remember?
Yeah. We have formed up and formed line here and are going to try and shoot the British out and the KGL out of that village and away from this hillside. So there'll be some intense firing this turn. We'll start with Charlie's fire against my charge, because we should have done that when I declared the charge. So 3 dice from the village, Charlie.
Yeah.
But 3 dice, needing 5s or 6s. Nothing. Alright, on with normal shooting. You to start, Charlie.
Yeah. So my skirmish is up there. Rifles are going to fire 4 dice.
Yeah, against my artillery battery.
1 casualty.
Okay, we'll mark that up.
My artillery is going to fire at your cavalry.
Okay.
Do you think it's medium range?
I think you might get bounced through against that one. Bounce through? No, you won't get any bounce through. I think it'll be still long range there, Charlie. 2 shots. I've got 2 dice. 4.
That's nothing.
That's nothing. It's 3 for a fatigue casualty. How many casualties they've already taken, Charlie?
They've taken 4.
Okay, so that's -1. So that takes a 4 down to a 3. So that's another fatigue casualty. Yeah, the artillery is all getting a bit exhausted by this stage in the battle. This one?
Well, this one hasn't. They had no casualties in sync with the other one over there. So 9. That one's not exhausted.
No. You need to look that one up. Shall we go?
No, it's 3 casualties, isn't it?
9 at long range. I'm not sure it's 3.
3, because 8 is 2, Dad.
Yeah, you might be right. Check on that. Long range 9 is 1 casualty and a discipline test.
1 casualty?
3 casualties at close range.
How is it 8 do 2 at long range?
It doesn't, it's 2 at effective range.
Oh.
Okay, so that was just 1 more casualty on the French Lancers.
They have to do a test.
A 9. Yeah, a discipline test. Alright, so that's a test at -1 for the French.
Hit Dad. 2 dice.
Excuse me. Test.
Double. -1 is
They
1.
rout off the table. Oh, brilliant!
So you've lost 1 brigade.
Yes.
3.
Okay, so Charlie's driven away the Guard Lancers with his accurate artillery fire. He's now firing his skirmishers against the unit on the hill.
1 casualty. Have they 9?
They're now on 9 casualties, yeah.
Okay, can I shoot this 1 rifle troop at them? Because you're technically looking at them.
No, they need to go against the skirmish screen.
We did that with them.
Alright, I'll let you roll 1.
But the 1 dice +1 because 95th rifles.
No, you get 1 dice.
Casualty, they're gone. Falter test on your... So 3 falter tests, 2 in shooting or 1 in charges.
A falter test on that brigade. Alright.
2 skirmishers plus...
Where are the 2 skirmishers? Alright, against my skirmish screen.
3 +1 because...
2 skirmishers is 2, -1 because you're shooting at skirmishers, +1 because you're 95th rifles.
No. Volley up here against them.
Okie doke. 10. That's quite good. That's superior volley is a 10. It's 5 casualties and a discipline test.
They're on 8 -2.
They're on 8 -2.
Yeah, because you remember when you get 8,
Alright,
on
okay.
discipline test you get -2.
See what you mean. Okay.
It sounded a bit weird, just 8 -2.
Portuguese. Oh no, that British one, that's an inferior volley, and you've got those skirmishers. You can pop the skirmishers somewhere else if you like. I wouldn't bother using this skirmishers.
So, inferior volley, 7 is I think 1 casualty, -1 isn't half a casualty.
Inferior volley 7 is 1 casualty. Yeah. So who were they firing at? They have to fire at those ones, the closest target. So they're on 9. Okay, you can fire one skirmisher of that base.
No.
A standard volley from them.
And -1 because of 4 casualties.
Okie doke.
8 -1 is 7.
Okay, that's standard volley 7 is 2 casualties.
Whoa, they're getting back. That's got 8. This has got 7.
Alright. And these skirmishers.
3 dice.
Yeah.
1 casualty.
Okay.
And my troops from the built-up area.
Yeah, shooting at them.
2 casualties.
Okay.
How many casualties do they have?
7.
Oh, your troops are battered up here.
I know.
They look like you've got a strong defence, but they've all got loads and loads of casualties.
Indeed. Alright. French firing. Okay, so starting the French counterfire. So we've got a line battalion here firing into the village.
7 casualties.
So again we halve it because I'm firing into a built-up area.
And -1.
And it's -1 for being cover and -1 for
Casualties.
casualties. I roll a 4, that's nothing.
No, 4 -1. Fatigue casualties.
No, fire discipline.
No, 4.
It was the infantry battalion I was
Oh,
firing the artillery now.
Same.
At effective range.
It's the exact same
It's
though.
the exact same. 5, that's going to be a fatigue casualty. Because it's -1 for cover and -1.
You're always so lucky you didn't have it
Oh
artillery.
no, it's not -1 for casualties.
No, but still -1 for cover 5.
Yeah,
half
so-
effect.
So it's half effect, but it's not a fatigue casualty.
You're lucky, on lots of battles you're lucky that you don't have artillery sockets.
Firing against your skirmishers.
Minus...
Standard, this is an inferior volley. At -2, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
6.
So an inferior volley
It's
is a
6.
6, is 1 casualty against
Half
that skirm-
effect.
No, against the skirmish screen.
You said -2 and half effect.
Not against the skirmish screen. It's -2 and half effect against. Can you put that on 2? Against a building. Okay, I'm going to volley against the Portuguese at -1. Standard volley. God, I'm rolling terribly. 4, that would be nothing. Volleying this one against the green flag. They're on 9 casualties, so this is a -2. Fire discipline as well. My firing has been terrible. I haven't rolled above 5 in 4 shots. firing my artillery battery. This
We
is
have
at full
gone
effect.
above 5, but none of them have actually done anything other.
Against those guys in the hedge line. It's -1 because they're in cover. It's a bit better. That's a 6 at close range. It's 2 casualties on the green flagged battalion.
You said
on
they
that
go
front.
in cover.
Yeah, I took it on. 2 flags. 2 casualties against that.
You said 2 flags against
skirmishes against your 95th Rifles. That's 1 casualty against the 95th Rifles.
Which ones? These ones?
Those ones.
Oh, that's casualty.
Then I'm going to fire this artillery against your 95th Rifles down there. No, I think you took a base off. They had taken up. 7 against skirmishes is a 5. Close range is 1 casualty. Down here from this artillery against these skirmishers. They're only on 2.
Still very healthy.
And I think that's all my firing, isn't it,
the
Charlie?
combat.
So we'll now get into combat in turn 11. Alright, attacking against the village. I only get 3 dice. I lose 1 for attacking a built-up area, and I lose 1 for my casualties. I cause 2 casualties on the rifles.
I get +1 for morale because I'm a veteran.
Yeah.
And is that it?
And you're unformed, so you lose 1.
It's just 5.
And you've got 1 casualty, yeah. So that's it.
2.
So that's a draw. We go into a second round. If we want. I'll have a think. Alright, I'm not going to do the second round of combat because Charlie will be able to throw in another full strength veteran battalion, so that'll get him another 6 dice, and I'll only get another 4, and I've now taken an extra casualty, which has pushed me over the threshold, so I'll be down to about 7 dice against his 10 or 11. So I will almost certainly lose that combat. So we're going to hang off doing the hand-to-hand combat there. Is that it at the end of turn 11, Charlie?
Yes.
It's suddenly looking very pro-British. All right, let's roll the ADCs. Okay, so just rolling for our ADCs. I'll start down here with my Dragoons, who are on a falter test. They roll a 6. They rally. Thank goodness for that. That's good news for me. So they're not faltering and they're not even hesitant. That one away. Then my front Dragoon Brigade, which has no rerolls, is also not hesitant. My brigade that's trying to retake the farm is active. My Guards Brigade, for which I've allocated 1 for glory to give our commander +1 in combat, and I've got a reroll.
Why rolling?
Yeah, they're active.
Also,
My Infantry Brigade that's supporting the artillery, no rerolls, is fine. My Artillery Brigade needs a reroll because it's on a filter. Is a 3. I will reroll that, and I get a 5. Which is good, and I'll look it up. I think that might be a obey orders. Okay, and then I've got my brigade on the hill is the same one. Then I've got another brigade on the hill. They're active, and then my brigade opposite the little village is hesitant. That's the only one, so I've only got 1 hesitant battalion.
my thing, I'm going to put
Roll for initiative. I've got an initiative of 11, which becomes 10.
I'm putting rerolls on all of my troops, but I'm putting glory with my Wellington onto the, because you're assaulting the village.
No, you have to put glory on the commander in the village.
Yeah.
Wellington has to be in range of the combat to have the command.
Oh, so, okay, I'll use 2 of my dice and put them somewhere. I'll put glory on my general, my ADC.
Okay. All right.
I'll just say he's got glory.
Well, you need to roll successfully to activate.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a re-roll, haven't you? Because you put a dice there. No, they're hesitant in the village. All right, let's do this brigade.
Active.
Yes. This brigade.
Active.
So you've got 1 hesitant brigade. We'll put a dice down so we remember.
Now the cavalry.
The cavalry, light cavalry.
They have a
re-roll.
No.
They're hesitant. Your that small infantry brigade, which has only got 1 battalion left with the artillery, is active. Is hesitant. But that's linked to an infantry brigade. Which infantry brigade is that with? That one.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are hesitant, yeah. This brigade was active.
Portuguese active.
And then the KGL. hesitant.
With a reroll, I just couldn't reach them.
Okay.
I was going to do a reroll. Active.
Okay, so you're on -2 then, Charlie. Because you have...
How many? Are you only got? I only got -1.
And I was -1. I rolled a 10.
You rolled a 10?
Yep. Which you did see, you just didn't take it in.
I didn't look at it.
Yeah, it was 10. You
I
roll
didn't
yours?
look at it.
Okay, you roll yours.
I need 12 to win this, so I should just roll 1 dice, see if I even get a 6.
Do whatever you like.
A free try one.
Okay, so the French have initiative. We'll just put the hesitant markers down. Okay, as my last desperate hope, my formed dragoons, my only decent unit left in my dragoons, because the other one's got 10 and 8 casualties, has charged Charlie's British heavy cavalry, who are blown after their successful charge, so I might be able to push them back. Also, interestingly for the British, my Royal Guard has charged into the side of the village. So you do get a defensive fire, Charlie. 3 dice out of the village at my guard. No casualties. All right, no other charges, are there?
No.
Okay, so let's do normal movement. We'll
Charge
start
combat
with the
first.
French.
Charge
Oh yeah, charge resolution.
Should we get that?
All right, yeah, you do get a support dice, but you're at -1, I think, because you're unformed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I
think I should reroll my 3 though.
Okay.
Got 2. It's not really changing 6. I get +1 for my general.
Yep, I'm going to put my general in as well.
That's 3.
That's 4.
So back to normal. I'm heavy cavalry +1.
I'm heavy cavalry +1.
I'm a high morale grade than you.
Yes, you are.
Your campaign cavalry, I'm battle cavalry.
Yeah, so I adjust for that, not you.
Yeah.
And you're unformed.
We've already done that, Dad, haven't we?
No, I don't think you've done unformed.
Oh no, I
So
haven't.
that's minus...
1.
Unformed is -2 in charge results. So you're on...
7. And you're on 4.
What did you have to start with? You were on 5?
I was on
5.
4 and 2, 6.
It was 4 and 2. I thought it was... Oh yeah, okay, 6.
And then
+1 for your general,
No,
7.
should we just do -1 for my unformed?
-2 for unformed. Yeah.
4. And then +1 for heavy cavalry.
Yeah.
+1 for morale grade above you.
Yeah.
What's 2? +1 for having my general attached.
Yeah.
+1 for what was it?
No, I think that's it. So what do you get
7.
there? 7. Okay, so you win by 3. So
You're
this
battle
is-
cavalry, I'm campaign cavalry.
Yeah, but I've already taken that off mine. Okay, you melee with a land, I melee unformed.
Just a melee of unformed.
So both are melee unformed.
But
Alright.
I do have a LAN, so my LAN will cancel out unformed.
You're unformed. Yeah.
Should we just...
No, we'll do it in the right time frame. Okay, let's do that. Okay, again trying to shoot the British out of this position. Starting with my infantry battery,
You get
standard volley,
-1.
7 casualties, so it's a -1. That's better. 9.
8.
That becomes an 8.
Another -1 because it
This is
goes
in cover.
Yep. -1 for
That's
casualties.
2, and it's halved, so it's 1 casualty.
-1 for casualties.
It's 9.
-2.
Slow down, Charlie. 9. -1 for casualties makes it an 8. -1 for built-up area makes it 7. That is 2 casualties. Halved because you're a built-up area is 1. So that is 1 casualty on them. Firing my artillery battery. 6 at effective range. -1 for cover, and halved is nothing.
But do you have how many casualties do you have?
3. Firing this battalion against your skirmishers. 7 becomes a 5. 1 casualty against the skirmishers.
1 base gone.
This one against the Portuguese. 12. Standard volley, 5 casualties and a discipline test against the Portuguese. Alright, so Charlie's passed his discipline test, he got a 9, but I do get a destiny roll. I get a 7.
That's just recover.
Recover 1 casualty, which will be quite good for me. I'm going to go down to 6 now.
Okay. When I was holding them, they fell down to 6, so
Okay.
I was holding them and I actually twisted them
This
down.
one volleying the green battalion.
That's -1.
They're on -2. They've got 9 casualties. 7.
-2 is 5.
Yeah, and then -1 for cover is 4. So that's nothing. I'll fire my artillery. No penalties on this artillery against the green battalion. It's in cover.
Did you have casualties?
Yeah, just 2. 9. That's quite good. So that's a close range. 9. That's 3 casualties. So it becomes an 8. 3 casualties and a discipline test on the green battalion.
It's 8 casualties -2.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Outrageous. And then my skirmishers against the 95th Rifles. 1 casualty on the 95th Rifles. Okay, that's them done. And that's it for my firing. Charlie, you're firing now.
So I'm gonna shoot.
Start up there. Start with the KGL in the farmhouse.
One casualty.
1 casualty.
Have you seen a pumpkin?
Charlie's going to have a look at his pumpkin. Skirmishers.
1 casualty.
Okay, they're on 2.
Now volley.
Portuguese, how many casualties have they now taken?
-2.
So that's a 5. Standard volley is just 1 casualty.
How many are they on?
8.
That is
1 Portuguese skirmisher downed. You can fire.
fire up that same.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No.
So now this volleying.
How many casualties have they taken?
None.
Okay.
So superior volley.
Yeah. 3. That's fire discipline, so that's nothing to them.
Then oh my god,
-2.
7.
So that's a 5, is it?
Superior volley.
That's 1 casualty on me. So I'm on 10.
My skirmishers are now going to fire at you for payback.
Yeah, they can. Nothing.
Nothing.
Your skirmishers against me, so that would be 3 dice.
1 casualty.
Okay, that's 1 base gone.
My artillery is going to shoot at your guard walking across the playing ground.
Hang on a sec. So which battery is this one? How many casualties have they taken?
No.
Okay, and they're going to fire at them?
Yep.
Did you get
7.
7 at long range is half a casualty.
1
Yeah,
casualty.
1 casualty on there.
The battery's going to shoot the same target. Oh, bounce through.
I don't think they're within 6. We'll just measure that. Okay, that's all the shooting done. Everything's getting quite weak. As much as the French line is faltering, the British attack also has got a lot of casualties in those frontline battalions. Lots on 7 and 8 on both sides. Lots of musketry engaged. Alright, so we've got an assault to do against the village as the French guard tries to, Spanish guard tries to penetrate the village.
Are you elite
got
or
combat.
veteran?
No, I simply count as veteran from morale.
Okay,
So we both start with 5 dice.
We're same morale.
We're the same morale.
We
Yeah.
both have victory, so we both get +1.
Yes, because I put it on mine. You put it on yours as well,
Yeah.
did you? So we both get an extra combat dice because we both put glory on. This is obviously going to be a big battle. Okay, let's go through the list. And we're not elite. We're not cavalry. We're not large or small units. We've got a general attached. Same morale. Not meleeing with a land or anything like that. How many casualties you got, Charlie? Hardly any, I think, from memory. Oh, you got 3, but not enough to make a difference. I lose 1 for attacking a built-up area.
So you're on 5 on 6.
Are you unformed or formed?
No, I'm formed. I was in there last term.
You were in there last turn.
And the term before that, and the term before that.
Yeah. So
So-
I'm on 5 dice, and you're on 6. Go the guard! That's pretty good. 3 casualties.
4.
4 casualties.
So my second
think-
battalion's coming in what's elite, and you don't get a second battalion.
I think. But I've got the other 2 down here that I could attack.
No, they can't. They have to be in the same brigade.
You're
And only
probably
one
right.
can. And only one can attack.
So built up area. We can choose to fight on. I attack. I decide not to, so I will retire. Okay. You hold the village. All right. Another close combat here. 6 dice for the French, 8 for the British. Let's see if the dragoons can do it for me. 3 casualties.
They don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 casualties. It's a
You
number.
did tip those right into the middle of the other ones. Are they definitely the ones that you rolled?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so 6 casualties to 3.
Shall I roll them again?
I wouldn't mind, because you did... There was one
I don't
existing
want
dice.
to. I don't want to roll them again.
You'll still beat me. I only got 3. Roll them again. So roll 8 dice. But you haven't got 8. You've got 9 dice there. That's the trouble.
9 dice?
Well, you should have 8. Count how many in their hand.
Oh, yeah.
That's why. That's why it looked long, because you picked up an extra dice. Okay, so you've done just as well.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, you've done even better. Okay, so you've beaten me by 4, so I rout.
You're on 11 too.
And I'm on 11 casualties. So I rout off the table, and that will be a falter test for that brigade. In fact, I don't know whether there's any... Yeah, I think...
There is that one.
I think that one is part of the same brigade, isn't it?
Yeah, they both have like straps around them, whilst these ones don't.
Yeah.
Like, not many of them.
Alright, we'll do that. And remember to add the casualties to you, Charlie. You did take 3. Okay, rolling for activation of ADCs.
So British first? 'Cause you're
British first, you've got a reroll on every unit. Let's start with the heavy cavalry. Active. Light cavalry. Active. This brigade attacking the village. Active. The brigade in the village. Active. The elite brigade with the artillery. Active.
They're with this artillery.
The other brigade with the artillery. Hesitant.
Active.
The reserve brigade with the 3 battalions.
Active.
The Portuguese.
Active.
KGL.
Active.
Every single British brigade is active. Okay, we will start with my falter test for my dragoons.
2.
And we'll have to re-roll that. 3. They're gone. So that's a 2nd brigade broken for Charlie. We will then roll for my brigade behind the village. They are active. My old guard, I've got infantry assault on.
Middle guard.
Middle guard. Anyway, infantry assault has gone off on them because we did it. We took the risk with only 2 dice. So they have now got infantry assault. All right, my brigade on the hill to the right of the guns are active. The guns are active. The other brigade on the hill is hesitant, and the infantry below the hill is active.
So you get -1.
Have I rolled for this other cavalry brigade?
No.
I don't think I have.
No.
Which one was the hesitant one, Charlie?
The hesitant one was like that one on the hill.
The 2nd one on the hill.
This one.
Yeah. Okay, and then for my other cavalry brigade is active.
Oh, you forgot to do the reinforcements brigade.
No, they're the same one. The ones on both sides of the gun are the same one.
Okay.
So I've just got 1 hesitant brigade, is that right?
Yes, and I...
And a faltering test, so I'll be at -2. 5.
3.
Oh!
-2 is 3. I get initiative.
No, I had initiative last turn. Yeah, so I keep initiative. French keep initiative. This might just save them. I'll just remove those casualties and put the falter markers down, or the hesitant markers down. Okay, so French get to fire first. You can bring me the charts, could you, Charlie, from over there? We're going to fire into the village.
Okay. Well,
Okay, firing these, they are on 8 casualties, so this is -2. So that's 5.
It's 4.
That won't do anything because it gets halved. And it's -1, so they don't have any effect. Firing the artillery in. 6, that won't have any effect. Right.
-2 and -...
Yeah, it's halved as well. It'll rounded down, so it won't do anything.
What about
Alright,
the
this
team?
lot. Yeah, what did I roll?
You rolled a 6, -1, and half the 0.
So it's only -1, so it would simply take 6 to 5.
But it would be 0. Oh,
Doesn't cause a fatigue casualty though. Okay, firing these guys against your skirmish screen. 6, that's a 4. That won't be anything. These guys, -2 against your Portuguese.
I forgot to move, Dad. We haven't done moving.
I have.
I haven't.
Alright, what are you doing?
I was going to retire these weak battalions back.
You have to move the back one back first and then the front one back because they can't just go through one another unless you unform both of them.
I'm going to unform both of them.
Okay.
Because this one has 9 casualties. It's going to die, so
Right.
if I leave it out more.
Okay.
And I'm going to get this one to just go.
Well, it can step back. It can't just march back. You only go back 3 inches.
So we're about here.
Yeah. And it might be enough to take it out of it. That one probably will still get shot at by the artillery. Okay, I'll need to measure some ranges then, see if anything's still in range. Okay, so we had missed Charlie's opportunity to retire. So he's retired his Portuguese battalion, he's stepped back. He did want to do a voluntary retire, but you can only do that if you are unformed. And I have just checked the rules again, and that is definitely the case. There is a way to get rid of a unit that's got very low casualties. You give them a skirmish tasking, and effectively they disintegrate and become a reinforce. They reinforce the skirmish screen. But so that's the only way to do it.
How many skirmishes do they become?
It depends how many casualties they've got. For every 4 casualties, it makes 1 less base. So I think a regular unit makes 3 or 4 bases.
But I would make 1 base.
So you'd make 1 base to add to the skirmish.
I might as well
but then
do
they
it.
would disappear. But you do need to give them a skirmish tasking order to do that. You give them a brigade reroll.
I might
instead.
as well do it because it's
perhaps for next turn. That might be the wise way to do it.
Because they're not in range anymore. So
no. So I will fire at the skirmish screen instead. So this is at -2. And 9 minus 2 is 7. Standard volley is 2 casualties against that skirmish screen.
First casualties of the game.
Yeah.
It's a very smooth screen.
So Charlie also stepped back with the green brigade, but it is still in range. So I will fire at the green brigade.
Why do you hate the green brigade so much?
Well, I just want to do what you do, Charlie, and try and take a unit out to get one of your brigades to break. So a standard volley, and they are the closest one, and I got a 9. You're in cover, so that makes it 3 casualties against them. What's they on now?
12.
They're
I'm
gone.
joking, they're 11.
Oh! Alright, I'm going to fire my artillery at them as well. Yay, they're gone.
That brigade is really gone. Can I just make that brigade didn't disintegrate instead? That whole brigade.
Well, no, you just leave that one on, but they've got to do a filter test.
But it's got 7 casualties, so it doesn't really...
I know, I have wiped out a British brigade.
Well, not a whole brigade, you don't know yet.
I think I do.
Why is there...
Just be careful with my figures and put them on the shelf, please, rather than walking around with them. Alright, and then I will fire my skirmishers against your skirmish screen. I've got 2. That's 1. That's 1 casualty. Oh, you do lose another rifleman.
Can skirmishers turn back into a full regiment?
They can if you get a light battalion to break into skirmish, but otherwise, no. Then I will fire that battery at the skirmishers who continue to plague them.
Nothing.
That does nothing. In fact,
fatigue
that's
casualty.
Fatigue casualty.
How many casualties have you taken?
6.
I've taken 1.
No. Okay, I think that's my firing. Now, Charlie, you're firing.
So I'm going to shoot my guys with a built-up area at you.
Okay.
3 dice.
Yep.
How many casualties do they have it taken?
8.
Ooh. If I get all of them, they'll have 11 casualties. I only do 1, they're on 9.
Yeah.
My skirmishers are going to shoot at your infantry.
Okay.
Nothing. Now I'm going
You've got
to
2 skirmisher scans.
Oh yeah, so it'll be 2 dice. Can they shoot at them?
No, they have to shoot at the closest target.
Then 1 casualty.
They're on 9.
They're going to fire at them because they're on 9 too.
Yeah.
4!
That's
They've got
nothing.
that twice now.
I know. You know what it feels like to be me now,
3
Charlie.
dice are going to fire.
At the artillery? Nothing. And then 3 dice for the 95th Rifles. 2 dice rather, but you didn't do it.
They're not shooting at skirmishers.
They were shooting at the line, were they? Alright. And then you've got...
Yeah.
Oh, you fired those because I charged in?
Artillery.
Yeah.
It's firing at your...
That guard battalion?
11.
Oh, that's a bit good. That's going to be at a long range, but that's 2 casualties and a discipline test. So they haven't taken any casualties
They
yet?
have, it's just you didn't move them with them.
Okay.
They're on 3 now.
Okay, but they passed their discipline test.
The other one's
They
going to
get
shoot.
7.
The other one's going to shoot.
Which
bounce.
battery? Yeah, bounce through against that
That's
one.
definitely bounce through.
It is now, because they're closer together, yeah.
Then they're going to fire. Bounce through again on
Okay.
them.
Okay.
10.
God, that's a good bit of firing. It's another 2 casualties.
The bounce through doesn't do anything.
But it is a discipline test at -1 now on that battalion from all that firing. They're alright, because they're kept as veterans for morale purposes. Alright, I think that's the shooting done. We're into hand-to-hand combat in turn 13. Alright, so this is 3 dice for me, 4 dice for Charlie as I try and assault into the village. I do 2 casualties, that's not too bad.
I need to get all my casualties if I want to win this.
You get 3. Alright, now this will require some thought. Let's see what we do. Right, we're just starting turn 14. Charlie got all 9/10 of his ADCs, so let's roll for yours then, Charlie. Starting with the Your Light Cavalry Brigade.
Active.
Yeah.
My Heavy Cavalry Brigade.
Hesitant.
With a reroll. Active. My Infantry Brigade here.
You didn't actually put a dice on it though. Oh yes you did, yeah. Active.
This Infantry Brigade, I need it to be active. With a reroll. Active. They all need their reroll so far.
Yeah.
Artillery Assault.
Yeah.
Does go off. Because they're from the same brigade.
No, it's that one. You have to roll for this brigade to get the artillery battery.
So they're active.
We haven't rolled from them yet.
I've rolled for them. Oh yeah. They are reroll because artillery. Hesitant.
Okay.
My artillery up here is hesitant.
Alright, you didn't put one on it.
My infantry up here, active. Portuguese, active. So my skirmish.
Alright, okay.
The troops in building hesitant, that doesn't really matter.
So your skirmish order went off, did it, Charlie? So how many hesitants you got? You got 3, haven't you? Artillery assault, the artillery battery, and the one over there.
They're not hesitant. Oh no, they are.
Yeah, we'll put the hesitant markers on so don't.
Okay.
Okay, turn 14 and we've completed movement. Charlie's formed up his heavy cavalry here. They're going to have a go at that last unit of dragoons.
They're probably going to go because it's got 8 casualties and they've got none.
And they've got none, so they will go, and that will give Charlie his 3rd broken brigade. In the centre, he's moved his other heavy cavalry unit. He's got a bit of a challenge because he doesn't want to go out of command radius, but just positioning them to potentially assault against the guard. I need to reposition my guard. I will actually do that. Charlie's moved forward his 52nd. No, they're not the 52nd. They're the 91st Highland Light Infantry.
You thought you were winning that there, but I'm now deploying all my troops back up there.
Charlie's and I have both taken the advantage of taking some of our very weak battalions and breaking them into skirmishers, which prevents them being wiped out until the skirmish screens are destroyed, which gives them a bit more survivability. So Charlie's pushed one of his Portuguese battalions into the skirmish screen, and I've pushed 2 of my very weak French battalions into skirmishes as well. So we've got a few more skirmishes in the centre now.
You forgot to do one of them up there though.
And I forgot to do one. I didn't have enough ADCs to do it. And Charlie's started redeploying his central brigade so he can use his better British firepower. So there we are. I will just reposition the guard and then we'll start firing in turn 14. Okay, kicking off with the firing. Again, I will fire this French infantry battalion. It's got 9 casualties, so this will be at -2. And it's firing at the built-up area. Well, actually, it's going to fire at the skirmish screen, which is in front of the built-up area now. So this is at -2, 3. That won't do anything. We'll now fire the artillery battery up against the built-up area. 9. That's finally a bit better. Close range, and it's -1 for being in cover. And then, so that's 3 casualties, that's halved, so that takes it down to 1 casualty and a discipline test for the KDL that are in
I'll
there.
quickly roll for it. They don't get any minuses, they only have 1 casualty in total right now.
Yeah, because you swapped the 2 battalions around, didn't you?
They're fine.
They're fine,
Well,
okay.
if you have a 6 on that, a 6, or you're normally...
Two, Charlie.
If you're on a 6, you're normally going to be fine if you have no casualties.
Firing my skirmisher screen at the new Portuguese skirmish screen. No, it doesn't do anything. Firing my skirmish screen down here against the British in the centre.
They're in cover, so you get -1.
Yes, just 1 dice. No, nothing. Then firing this skirmish screen against the rifles. 1 casualty against the rifles.
Do you mean these guys?
And, yeah, those guys, that's fine. Then I'm going to fire my artillery battery against that blue flagged British unit. It's probably the closest one I can see.
The closest one you could see is this one.
Well, I'll fire at that one if you like. It's just a bit more out of my arc of fire. I think I have to go against the blue one.
But just wish it's in cover in a way because it's behind. It has got trees.
Yeah, I'll give you light cover. Ah, fatigue casualty. That really wasn't worth
You're
it.
lucky you didn't have artillery, so go on.
Indeed. I think that's all my firing, and then my artillery battery down here is going to fire against your heavy cavalry now.
But it can't. The skirmishers will take one
They'll take
because they're
one,
right in front of them.
Yeah. That's only a close range fire.
You do get -2. You do get minus. You do get -1,
See if
Dad.
they're in arc. I think they are. So the skirmishers
You
won't
do
take
get
a
-1
casualty
though.
because I've taken
7
7 casualties. All right, 9, 8. 8 at long range, I think. We'll check that.
It's long range.
It'll either be 1 or 2 casualties, depending on whether it's that long or
But
effective
the
range.
skirmish.
Okay, so Charlie just opened fire with his artillery battery at my guard. He's caused 3 casualties, so they're now on 8 casualties. He did get a double 6, so he got a destiny test, so he got a casualty back, but I have passed my discipline test. All right, your other artillery battery. It's going to have to fire at those guys on the hill now, I think, and you will get bounced through as well.
Yeah. 10.
That's pretty good. That's also at long range. That's 2 casualties and a discipline test.
Bounce through. Doesn't do anything.
Ah, we're unformed, but we haven't taken any casualties yet. So.
My skirmish is going to fire at you, at your battalion. Because they can't see them. They're definitely going to fire them because all of them can shoot at you at that infantry battalion.
Okay.
Nothing. But the thing is, Dad, your skirmish screen is so small. If it moves that way, these ones will be able to shoot. If you lose that way, these ones will be able to shoot. So
Okay.
these 2 are going to fire at your artillery.
Okay, 2 dice.
1 casualty.
Okay.
I'm going to shoot my guys at built-up area
Okay.
at your
Guys at the front.
2 casualties.
And then your skirmish screen.
3
At the
dice.
bottom of the hill. Yeah.
Nothing.
So that takes them to 11 casualties. They're in trouble. Okay, and I think you've got your Portuguese skirmishers to fire as well.
Oh, I'm going to shoot artillery
Okay.
at medium range, I think.
No, they're all at long
long-
range because
yeah.
yours is all off the back of the table. Actually, it's not really on the
I'm
table.
going to fire.
Oh no, you did move that one on, so we'll do that one at actual range because you did redeploy that. Remember? I think it'll be long range. Might be at effective range. No, it's at effective range. You gonna fire at that battalion or that battalion? That one?
That one. It's more dangerous.
3. Fatigue casualty. I think that's it. That's the end of turn 14. Okay, so with the number of units and the weaknesses of the various different formations on the table, the turn's going much quicker now, so we're now on turn 15. Rolling for the French. French position in the centre is looking pretty strong.
If
I'm
your
pretty
flanks
confident
are
we can
gonna-
hold it.
But if your flanks break and that guard's probably going to get destroyed eventually, my cavalry will swing around.
Yeah, I think I've lost my 2 extremes, so Charlie will probably cause 2 more forfeits this turn.
Dad,
All right, roll 1 more dice. 3 ADCs for me.
oh my god!
Not very good, Charlie.
I only got 4 plus 1 for Wellington. Yep, 5. But Dad, if it was a proper game, like a normal one, I'd have won twice. Because I'd taken 2 grades out, I would have won. Because I took both villages, I probably would have won because they probably were objectives.
It's a much bigger game, though,
I
isn't
would
it,
have,
this one?
but I would have probably won.
Okay, let's deploy our ADCs.
I'm putting 1 in my cavalry, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm putting 1 in my
One
KGL.
of my guards.
I'm putting
I'm putting 2 on those.
oh yeah.
Okay. Let's roll for an activation then, Charlie.
Should we roll? Yeah. Can I go first?
Yeah.
So these cavalry active, light cavalry hesitant.
Put a leave a dice next to them and take the one off the other one so we can remember which one is hesitant. Take the one off the heavy cavalry because you've used it.
My troop up there
Yep.
active. So they do turn into skirmishers.
That's that brigade. Okay, we'll come in a sec.
Mm.
You haven't rolled for this brigade yet. You rolled for that
Oh, yeah.
brigade.
Active, so they can go to skirmish.
Oh, have you put them in on
Yeah.
skirmish tasking?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't need to because they're light. They can do it anyway. you got an extra dice if you need it.
Extra 2 dice actually.
Yeah.
Can I put both of them on my artillery?
Yep. You needed a dice to do a re-roll on them anyway, though, because you wanted to re-roll.
But Dad, I wouldn't have. I was going to do an artillery assault, but I wanted to do a tasking. So artillery assault does go off.
How many casualties have they taken?
Oh no, they've taken 4. I'll put it on this one.
Okay.
The active artillery assault doesn't go off.
No.
It's annoying. This brigade, hesitant. That brigade, active. Portuguese, hesitant. Video active.
So I think you failed about 4. Which one's a hesitant, Charlie? Could you put a dice next to the other ones?
This one, and this one.
Okay.
Hesitant, so not 4.
3. Okay. Put hesitant markers on those. I'll start rolling for mine. Rolling for my dragoons. Are active. My brigade by the dragoons are hesitant. My old guard not active. The brigade on the hill is hesitant. The other brigade on the hill is hesitant. And then I'm going to try and put skirmish on these ones. No, fails. Goes off because I had a reroll.
I can still shoot the back one.
You can shoot the back one, and you can also probably kill them by killing off the skirmishers too. Alright, we will do that in a second. Alright, rolling the charge results down here. Let's get the tables. The dice. Okay, Charlie, this is probably your victory charge of the game. So I can't support infantry with cavalry, so I get a 4.
I get an
11.
So
You've won it by loads.
So can we do the adjustments?
Yeah, you're veteran.
+1.
So that's +1. You're heavy cavalry, +1. I'm campaign cavalry, so take me down to 3.
Okay.
I am formed. I'm on the same frontage as you, but I lose 2 because of my casualties.
Okay.
Have you got any casualties, Charlie?
No, got 9.
You did have some from the last hand-to-hand combat with my guards. You took 2.
I
You
never
got to.
fought your guards.
No, my dragoons. You definitely have taken some
No,
casualties.
I haven't done a hand-to-hand combat. I've destroyed you all with charges.
Okay, alright. So you're on 13, I'm on 1, you've won by 12. Victory, I round and take 1d6 casualties.
Well, they're gone.
So you've broken that brigade. Well done,
And
Charlie, that's 3 brigades gone.
Should we just do this a combat if I charge them?
Well, you can charge on, and you can go 45 degrees, so you would clip them as well. So let's do the charge results against them. They count as being in the flank. If you do this, you will have won, because that will be the 4th brigade.
They can't actually turn around, because
I get a 10.
in such a small gap they can't turn around. So I'll just...
I don't think you succeed though. So I'm on a 10. I lose 2. So I'm on 8. I'm in a column, so that takes me up to 10 again.
But you're flanked.
But I'm flanked, so I...
2 again. Because I'm flanking -2.
Yeah, -2. So I'm on 8. You're on 3.
I get +1 for heavy.
Yeah, so you're on 4. You're a Maragore better than me, so you're on 5. We can both attach our generals. So I lose by 3. Cavalry versus infantry. Cavalry retire, 1 casualty. I stand.
But I'm probably going to still win, because I'm just going to do it again with the guards. Just come around and just do it. So.
Thank you, Charlie. Okay, we'll move those figures. Okay, a quick recap of where we are at the start of turn 16. The British heavy cavalry have destroyed the French dragoons, driven them all off the table, but their attack against the flank of the French brigade, holding the outskirts of this village on the far right of the French line, was repulsed, so they've fallen back to reform in the centre. Joseph's guard have proved unable to fight their way into the village, and indeed they assaulted with 1 weak battalion this turn as well, and that one had to retire, and unfortunately, due to its position on the table, has fallen off the table edge. So that brigade is a little bit weakened, but no need for a falter test. In the centre, the French lines still are just about holding, and the British are positioning themselves for a final push to break the 4th Brigade and cause the French army finally to withdraw. Alright, let's get on, turn 16. Okay, we've rolled for ADCs, both have 5, so we'll deploy those ADCs and then roll for activation. Okay, from the right flank, we've rolled the activation. The British KGL Brigade in the village is hesitant, as is the original brigade attacking the centre. Hesitant, that needs a 5 to activate because of the excessive casualties it's taken. And that was it for the French. The only hesitant brigade is the brigade defending the village on this flank. So the French have initiative at -1, British at -2. Seeing for the British get 10, and the French get a 4. So the British have initiative in turn 16. Okay, a number of charges this turn. First, the British heavy dragoons have charged in against the flank of the French battalions that were assaulting the village again for the second time. So we'll roll for charges that both units have support. So I think we'll both do a reroll. Both rolling those again. Not much difference. Okay, so the French get 7 and the British heavy cavalry get 5. Right, so we're both going to throw our generals in, so that makes no difference. The British heavy cavalry is veteran. That gives it 1 more. It's heavy cavalry, so it gets a bonus for that. It's not on form. The infantry is in column. But they've been charged in the flank, so I'm not going to give them. They're not going to have a go at forming square. So they're on 9. No casualties in charge. So the cavalry has lost by 2. So cavalry versus infantry, casualty again, retire, taking 1 further casualty. Not doing so successfully over on this flank. The second unit to charge in is the British Life Guard. Those guys. They've charged in against this French artillery battery. It's at the limit of their range, but they've made it in. So we'll roll for the effect of that charge. Again, for the charge going on there in the distance, the French have support. The British have support. So we'll roll for the French. A 9. And then rolling with the British, a 6. With the support, we'll re-roll a 2. Okay, so we've got a 7. Alright, we'll just have a look at the modifiers. Again, the British are veterans. We get +1. And the heavy cavalry, plus another 1. Right, of course, we've got to do the defensive volley. So we'll do a defensive fire by the French artillery battery. I think they're on 7 casualties. So this will be at -1. I'll just check the casualties. Should have done this as we charged in. 7 casualties indeed, and that was a 6. So just looking at the casualties. Battery at close range, a 6 causes 2 casualties on the British. Alright. No discipline test there. So the British, who were on 9, suffered 2 casualties in the charge. That's a further -1. So they will go to 8 total. Alright, so I think that is it. So again, at a 0 to -2. Cavalry, again, retire with 1 casualty and the defenders stand. So British heavy cavalry promised much, but been unable to charge home. And finally for charges, we've got Philip's, Sir Joseph's Guard, charging in against British 52nd Light. So 2 battalions going in, so support being provided. We did roll a new infantry assault order and we redirected the assault from the village onto this new target when we activated the brigade this turn. So we'll see if we can charge in here. Defensive volley from the British first. Right, doing the defensive volley. 2 shots. A 6. Alright, so this will be a superior volley as the battalion hasn't moved. They are elite battalion, so we get a combat dice, which doesn't cause a casualty. No casualties, not unformed. And we get a combat dice because the target is a column as well. Nothing for that either. That's a bit unfortunate. There we go. So that was a 6. So superior volley, a 6 is 2 casualties on the French. Okay, they're very weak. This battalion has taken an awful lot of casualty fire. Right, now let's see if we can charge home. So, having to go with the French. With the reroll for the supporting battalion. It's 6 to the French, 11 to the British. Looks like we'll be able to hold this charge off. So the 11 is elite, is +2. And that is it. So the British go on to 13, and the French took 2 casualties on the way in, which is -1, and then -2, so they're on a 3, so it's going to be at -6. Infantry versus infantry, a tracker retreats, 1d3 casualties, the defenders stand. Right, that will be unfortunately then a wipeout on that French Guard battalion as it's taken so many casualties this turn, and there will be a falter test on Joseph's Guard. Okay, kicking off shooting for the British, starting with their skirmishers against the skirmish line down here. That's 2 casualties against the skirmishers. For the French, then we'll fire the garrison, also at the skirmish line. 3, that's that French skirmish line destroyed, and that brigade is now down to 50% casualties. Alright, then moving along, we have the French-Portuguese skirmishers against the French skirmisher line. 2 dice, 3 and a 1, that's nothing. Then we've got the British infantry battalion that will fire at the French skirmishers at -2. That'll be a 3, that'll be nothing. Then we have 3 bases of British skirmishers firing at the French. We're going to fire them actually at the artillery. So that will be 3 dice at the artillery. No casualties. Then we've got the 95th Rifles firing at the infantry battalion on the end of the hill. That is 1 more casualty on there. Up to 3. Then we've got the French artillery. Starting, I'm just going to check, sorry, the British artillery. I just need to check how many casualties we've got on these units. So on this one we have 4, so they'll be at -1. This one has no casualties, and the other battery I think also has 4, yes. So we're at -1 on 2 of the British batteries. So we'll start by firing against this battalion on the hill. -1, 10. This is going to be at long range. That's a 9, so that's 1 casualty and a discipline test. So we'll put 2 dice on there, so remember to do the discipline test in a second. And the battery in the centre, no casualties. At long range, and 8 is 1 casualty. 4. And then the other artillery battery will also fire at the same target. I think it's pretty much anything you can see. And 9, that's 1 casualty and a discipline test. So we've got a couple of discipline tests to do. Right, that concludes the Allies firing. We'll now do those discipline tests. Starting with this battalion in the centre. That's a 7, that's a 6, so they go unformed, but are otherwise fine. This battalion in the centre is its first casualty, and it is absolutely fine. Okay, starting on this flank, we've got the French infantry battalion, no casualties, firing against the skirmish screen. It's a 6, -2, and the standard volley is a fire discipline test, that's nothing there. Then the French skirmishers against the Portuguese screen, does nothing. The French skirmishers against the infantry battalion, does nothing. The French skirmishers against the British skirmishers in the centre, do nothing. The French artillery battery is going to have a go at the skirmishers immediately to its front. A 9, that's not too bad at close range. -2 for skirmishers is 2 casualties and a discipline test. So those skirmishers will lose a base, I think they've already taken a casualty. And then finally the artillery battery down here, again we'll have a go at those skirmishers. It's taken 7 casualties, so this will be at -1. It rolls a 9 at close range. Is 3 casualties, -2 for skirmishers is 2 casualties and a discipline test. So that will be the loss of one of those rifle bases. But still plenty of skirmishers there for the British. And then finally our 2 infantry battalions in column will have a go at firing into the village. They've both taken 9 casualties, so this is but on -2. It'll be -3 for the building and then halved. So that's a roll double 6. It's not going to do very much. A 5 on a standard, so that's an 8. -2 for casualties and -1, so that's 1 casualty. Halved is below 1, so no impact, and 7 will be no impact. So that concludes the end of turn 16. Okay, so on turn 17, we have 2 inactive British brigades, the light cavalry and the reserve British brigade we brought on in the centre. And for the French, we have a hesitant brigade, which was the ones outside the village on the far left flank. Alright, so we'll get cracking. French have initiative, they declare charges, and then British. This will probably be quite repetitive, with the heavy cavalry having another go at charging in and see whether they can break the French positions. Again, no success on this flank for the British. The French decided to be brave and go for a formation change, and they rolled a 5. So despite their penalty of 2 for having 2 excess casualties, they managed to do the formation change, form square, and have repulsed the British attack. So we'll move on with shooting in turn 17. Starting at the far end, up here. This French battalion will fire at the skirmish screen. It gets a 9. Standard volley 9. -2 is 2 casualties on the skirmish screen. The artillery will then fire at the buildings. A 7. -1 is a 6. Halved is 1 casualty against the KGL battalion in the building. I'll just put some casualty markers down. At this point, I'm going to call the game. Charlie's had to go to bed, and I think we're pretty much at a conclusion. The fighting sort of died away. The British have lost their attacking mojo and taken pretty heavy casualties. And I'm actually going to say the French, I think, have won this. So we got as far as turn 18. The French did relinquish the village on this flank, but the KGL have suffered quite heavy casualties and aren't inclined to charge out. In the centre, we still have 1 viable French artillery battery, and these French infantry battalions have only got 1 or 2 casualties. They still have a screen in front of them. The British on turn 18 are going to take turn 19 to cross the hedge, turn 20 to get into musketry range, and I can start pulling back my French infantry battalions to keep myself out of effective range, which is what my plan is now, to start slowly withdrawing the French line towards their table edge and play for time. And given the deployment of the British forces, I don't believe they're going to be able to come up sufficiently far to advance. Their only hope is to charge in the centre, but the French guard passed its Falter test, and the 2 guard units remaining on the table are still in pretty strong health, and supporting that artillery battery, which again has its flank secured against the village. The best chances for the British to break the 4th Brigade are down here when the 2 British infantry battalions, the French infantry battalions, are both pretty damaged, and I've done the casualty shots, and it takes 3 more turns for the guys in the village to break one of those 2 battalions, the weaker of those 2 battalions, and I've done the Fulter test, and the square passes its Fulter test. The cavalry are extremely unlikely to break the square. There's not enough time for the guys in the village to fire at the square to cause it to break, so that brigade also holds on. So although it's tenuous and is probably close to a draw, on balance, and given that the British have won every single game and the French have done very creditably, I'm going to call this one a French victory. So congratulations to Joseph, and I hope you all enjoyed the game. Much closer than usual, and the weight of French artillery fire proved decisive in the end, and the inability of the French, or the ability of the French square to hold off the British heavy cavalry on the right flank. See you again next time. Bye.